Hello everybody and welcome back to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are back on the crack, the Isidis Crack, with another 1v1. This replay was actually submitted on my Discord, so if you have a replay that you want me to look at and maybe see on the channel, don't forget to go over there. The link is in the description. So here we have Motimy OS 36 versus their opponent Bruno OS of 37, and we have an Armada versus Cortex matchup today, so it's good to see not a mirror matchup for a change. Now both players have chosen the normal start position here, with being the kind of forward spot, especially the one that Bruno's picked is pretty much identical on either side here. Interestingly enough though, Motimy has decided for a solar start here, whereas his opponent has chosen to start winds. Now also Bruno being a bit delayed on that third metal extractor there due to a lack of power, and that will have slowed them down a bit. As you can see, they're not able to push out this constructor even with such a large amount of winds, really doubling down on that wind when wind is 2. Really like, no, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. Have faith in the wind. And there we go. As the last one finishes, wind production does ramp up. Not enough really for him to push out that constructor, but nevertheless, it does get built. Now, on the opposite side of the map here, Motimy has not really had any energy problems due to the fact that he's invested quite heavily into solar, and 2 cons are already out, as well as 3 grunts ready to defend against any early raids. Now Motimy has chosen bots, or both players have chosen bots, but due to the fact that Motimy is Cortex here, we see the very traditional Cortex play of being defensive with the grunts, using them to kind of position around your base here to kind of deny any raiding. And so far going well. Now, as we've mentioned before on the channel, if you need to know the player's actual like economy stats, you can see it. I can't hover over it because it will remove it, but where their name is here, as soon as I unhover over, that's their economy. So you can see what they're up to if their energy stalled at any point by just looking at their little map icon. Bruno looks like he's going to be able to pick up at least 1 metal extractor here. Yep, does manage to do it pretty well. Not that big a hit as long as Motimy rearranges this build queue. Meanwhile, some pawns are starting to make their way in. Motimy has not brought that con back, hoping that he can save it. And does manage to, actually. A little bit slow on the reaction there to move in to defend against these guys, but there are enough grunts here and that will do the job. Shutting down power momentarily though. Oh, but the reinforcements actually managed to pick up the constructor that was there expanding. So nevertheless, still doing the damage required. Meanwhile though, this cheeky grunt actually doing some significant damage here. All that wind that was invested in earlier on, killing at least 4 or 5 windmills there. Not good. Meanwhile, Motimy having to walk back with that constructor. Not really having enough grunts in the positions they need to be. Motimy's commander has moved forward here in an effort to try and plug this hole. It does leave the base a little bit open. This constructor will be fine. The grunts will move up in time. Doing well though so far to kind of block off these attacks. No con turret yet from Motimy, mostly due to energy issues. Oh wow, this pawn doing extremely well. survives a very long time, but neither the solar or the metal extractor do get taken out in the end. And this is a lot of metal that has been left now in the base of Motimy. So we select it there. I know I say a lot. It's only 400, but it's 400 at minute 5 is quite a lot. So Raider would get built and then I was about to say instantly gets destroyed. It literally needed like one more volley. And Bruno has thrown like everything he has had at Motimy. And although Bruno does have a big advantage when it comes to metal right now, I say not really, but like metal produced, he has most of the metal extractors around his base set up. The biggest problem, it just doesn't have the energy stalling again. And the biggest problem is he's just doubling down on wind, saying, yep, fuck wind. Yep, exactly. Maybe you should not be doubling down on wind then. And really e-stalling for a while there, Bruno, and that was a big problem. Finally, though, getting up all of those metal extractors and will be ahead when it comes to like eco on the map here, because Motimy is only just starting to cap these back mexes, and with this guy has chosen to go up and north rather than get this triple. I don't think he necessarily realizes how far behind when it comes to metal a second Motimy is. We're talking like 11 metal a second difference, which is huge amount of metal difference in this early stage. Attempted self-destruct of the LLT will not get any value other than killing a tick, and will open up all of those mexes to be killed. These two grunts should stop that guy from getting any additional value. Yeah, there we go. At least being bots, Motimy has the choice of getting a res bot out there to get everything back up, but should be prioritizing that over eating or rezzing the stuff in his base, really. Motimy sat on a lot of metal right now and does not have the energy to use it, which is a big problem. Really needs to be scaling up their economy. Come on, there we go. Seen some windmills queued up. Very good. These grunts are just shooting the wrecks rather than anything. Now, one good thing is we see Motimy's commander has been making his way slowly towards Bruno's base, building up LLTs as they go and capping metal extractors. Now, although metal's looking a bit skewed still because of eating of things, it is starting to get more and more even as time goes on. Bruno is not really expanding very well out of these sides. And due to that, Motimy is able to make up for the losses in the back by expanding forward with both this con and this commander here. Surprisingly, what we normally see is cons heading out this way along the tops, and then like building up along there, but on this map none of that's happened. Motimy's con in danger. Not enough energy to degun. 40% health, 30% health, 25. And the final degun manages to secure the commander, but that was dangerous. Good micro though for these grunts here. I was going to say by the grunts. The grunts aren't doing the microing. It's Motimy that's doing the microing. But a metal excess though. Look at this number going up drastically as the time ticks by, really needing to spend that metal quick. 570 metal accessed, and that number is going up again. I just chuck down an any metal storage. If you're really unable to spend that metal quicker, it's better than losing it. How much does a metal storage cost, as an example? I know metal storages are like, you know, don't really want to be building them because you feel like it's a waste, but at the same time, for 340 metal, you would have kept, you know, most of this, but instead that metal has just disappeared now into the ether. Now, realistically, you should be good enough that you don't need a metal storage. But, you know, that's an ideal world situation. And most of us are not good enough to spend every single piece of metal that they've got. But with now losing 1k in metal, now the metal storage goes down. But that's a lot of metal to have lost before building the metal storage. And to be fair, with this factory now built, probably has enough metal spent. So yeah, don't get me wrong. If you've got the energy, it would be better off building a second factory and just pumping out more units or having more build power on the factory. But both players have been struggling with energy most of the game. Motimy does seem to have energy under control now. But we can see Bruno is still struggling as we select Bruno here as we look on their base. Energy still fluctuating a bit all over the place. Doesn't help that they are building air now, which is obviously very, very energy expensive. And Bruno does seem to be quite heavily investing into air here. A large amount of gunships. Hoping to maybe catch the commander out and some bombers here. So this is Bruno's plan to win here, is going into this. We can see metal extractors here still not being picked up by Bruno, which is a bit of a mistake, some idle constructors. But 6 gunships so far. Meanwhile, though, we have 24 raider units now making their way around. And Bruno needs to have something to stop that. At the moment, he's got 2 Janus, 3 Janus. I keep pressing enter rather than shift. And if these guys, they're going to go around the wrong way. They're not going to be in position. Oh, no. At being Armada, it's not like they can just pop out shurikens to stop this. Down a shot. Okay, so right now air will have been spotted. And too late, as fighters have already been built. And the entire air plan that Bruno had has gone up in smoke. Oh, and all of the gunships that were creeped up die in one volley of a thing, of a fighter rather. That's a big loss. That's a lot of metal just down the drain, and Bruno yet again having energy problems. And Motimy was in a pretty tough spot. He was like really far behind with like capping out on metal. But Bruno didn't really accomplish too much with the raids. The air was a really bad idea. This raid here has gotten, you know, 3, 6, 9, 10 metal extractors. And that, I don't see Bruno being able to bring this back. The air attack was going to be a good play. It would have made some dent. But look at the army value difference. 150% difference. Metal a second now. Motimy is ahead substantially. And I think this here is going to be the death march. It's just going to be way too many thugs that Bruno won't be able to deal with. And they're decently spread out. They're not getting massive amount of friendly fire from the Janus shots. Bruno is trying to micro them. Bruno needs a great D-gun here. Cloak is on. Oh, tremendous D-gun. Very great D-gun, but it may all be for naught, as on the opposite side, 20 raiders coming in from there. pawns and grunts coming in from the top. And there goes the entire economy of Bruno.
Commander, self-destructed.
So Bruno did very well early game, like harassing
Battle ended.
Motimy and just keeping him from building up. But as the game went on, the raids were not accomplishing anything. And as soon as Motimy was able to actually start capping stuff up, just that was it. Motimy managed to grab like all of this, whereas Bruno never took any of this. Like it took ages before they even got out here. And that's where Motimy was able to get ahead. So well played. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1. Don't forget, if you have replays of your own, feel free to send them over in the Discord in the description. And I'll see you all next time.